going on, Patriot fans? Welcome back to the PrimeTime Patriots podcast. Guess we're the good luck charm for the New England Patriots. Last time we were here, we were on a big win streak. Since then, 2 losses we got to look at.
Yeah.
Recap a couple weeks that we missed. Happy holidays to everybody. We are actually filming this on New Year's Eve. It'll probably come out on New Year's Eve as well, so Happy New Year's. Hope you all are enjoying yourselves, ready for some good football, college, and NFL. So
big games, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with the Colts. We'll keep this brief. Colts and Bills, we'll wrap this up together a little bit. What did you think about the game with the Colts, the game that breaks the streak in Indy?
Horrible first half from the Pats. Couldn't stop the run. They stopped the pass because Wentz was awful that whole game. What do you have, 49 passing yards?
49. That was the team ones. He might add more and he lost or something, but either way, nowhere close,
So
he tried to give it to you.
The pass defense was there, but the run defense was atrocious. So, I mean, it was Jonathan Taylor, who's an MVP candidate. So I'm not, that concerned about it, but you knew going into the game that they're going to try and run down your throat, and they could not stop it. And then, as the game went on, I think the Pats gained a little more momentum. They came back, and then that last drive where Taylor took off for 68 yards really hurt. But
yeah, no, for me it was, like you said, that first half was really tough. Defense-wise, at least, for me, it was really that first drive of the whole game and then the last drive. First drive, they just come set the tone. They handle it right away. And then the last drive of that game is obviously the big Taylor run.
Yeah.
They might have gotten the ball one more time after. I can't remember. But that's the last actual significant drive. Sealed the game. That was just... It's hard for me to put too much weight because obviously in the situation they were in, you're selling out for third and out. You need to force 3 downs and a punt. So you are calling weird plays.
You're trying to send the house.
Exactly, yeah. You got guys on islands, so it happens, but nonetheless, it ended the game. The defense had a chance to step up there, get the ball back. And again, right after Wentz gives it right back, which he's so good at. So yeah, close one for the Patriots, but wasn't enough. Snapped the streak. At least we were looking forward at that point in time to the Bills game in Gillette Stadium. That one also didn't go how we planned. What do you think of that Bills game?
Yeah. Let me take out my notes here. Pretty much just had that Mac probably, I think, played his worst game as a, NFL quarterback. Very inconsistent. I think he was 14 for 34, I want to say.
32,
32. He had 2 picks. It wasn't a great game. I think Damian Harris came to play. I think he had a good game. Other than that, I mean, the offense didn't look too good. I think the defense, Miles Bryant couldn't cover Isaiah McKenzie, which was disgusting. Yeah. He's a 4th-string receiver.
Yeah, they were missing Beasley and their number 3 guy.
So I thought that was horrendous. And I didn't see anything special about McKenzie. I mean, he got open, but I don't know if that was
he was the mismatch
Bryant
of the day.
I don't know what was going on. It was just bad. So
it's concerning because I think it highlights something that other teams can take advantage of. Because Isaiah McKenzie is no world beater. I loved watching him in that game from a football perspective because he was making great plays. Versus Stephon Diggs turned himself into my least favorite player in the entire league this game, dude. I was so goddamn mad at Stephon Diggs scoring, acting like a tool, bro. Come on now. Pissing me off. A little bit of a mini rant there, dude, because, such an aggravation. But on the other side, you got this guy who wasn't even seeing game time the last time they played the Patriots, and he's lighting you up.
Yeah.
Respectable guy, hardworking guy, making plays. But he ain't special.
Yeah.
And, he's a guy that's on a lot of NFL rosters. And if other guys can find a little quick, twitchy guy, good at route running to attack people like Bryant for the Patriots, I think it's a concern moving forward.
Yeah, definitely.
But one thing for sure, you mentioned a really bad game from Mac. 1 for 10 on 3rd down, which was tough. Can't really have that. But then Josh Allen, man. I mean, the defense... I don't even think, given Josh Allen's performance, I don't think the defense played awful.
I think on third down, fourth downs, they went for like a lot of fourth downs.
A lot.
You know what's coming. Mm-hmm. You know. And they still couldn't stop it.
That's true.
Allen, he had that fake handoff and he rolled. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yep.
And Collins did too. He just couldn't get there.
Mm-hmm.
It just you gotta make those plays. You know what's coming.
Yeah, I think we put him in a situation 6, 7, 8 times in that game to just make a play to keep his team ahead, and he did it every time.
So, props to him for that, but, if you're the Pats defense, you got to do something.
Yeah.
You got to figure that out.
I agree. So, it was very, very disappointing. 33-21 was the score.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it didn't even feel that close. I think
it really didn't. At the end, I think, not the end necessarily, maybe the third.
For a second there, J.C. Jackson.
When he missed that pick.
There was nobody either. It was a pick 6.
Yeah, if he got that, that would have changed the game. But
they would have been up. They would have been up 4.
But, the offense didn't play well. I don't, like you said, I don't think the defense played horrible. I think, other than Bryant, and I think the rush with Allen, other than those two things, I think they played
so good
well.
at avoiding pressure.
Yeah.
I in terms of somebody who, he's so mobile with his legs, but he's also...
He's a tank, dude.
Yeah, if you get your hands on him. Yeah, he really is.
He reminds me of, Cam Newton a little, like Prime Cam a little bit.
I agree. It's like Cam
passer,
with an arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always... My, comparison for Josh Allen, and not really comparison in the fullest sense, but I've always said it's like Big Ben with legs.
True.
It's like... Ben's that guy. He has guys draping on him in the not now, but years ago, if you believe it or not, Big Ben was throwing passes, people hanging on him.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to bring him down in the pocket. Allen could be doing that, rolling around the right side.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Stiff arming dudes. It really is. I think we said it. I said it at some point. I don't know if it was on the pod or not. If I'm drafting a team right now, if I'm a GM, we got a fantasy thing going. Right after Pat Mahomes, he's my pick. He's the body, the physical traits, the cannon on his arm.
Yeah, I said that at the beginning of the year. You called me crazy. I said he could be MVP, but not looking like that this year. You didn't even make the Pro Bowl, which is kind of concerning.
Well, that's the thing, too, because he's still... I might have scoffed at the MVP thing back then. I wouldn't now. But it was always the ability to, do it consistently. There was still the Jags game this year. There was still
then the Pats game.
The first one,
Yeah, he didn't play horrible, but
yeah, exactly. Weird conditions with that one, but he's had points this year where he's looked really bad. That's why he's not the consensus. If he was this player every week, he'd be the MVP, no doubt.
Yeah, and wasn't it 3 weeks in a row he had 7 turnovers or something?
Yes, yeah. When we were going into our first game with him in the past 3 games, he had turned it over 7 or 4, 7, something like that. So it's those things, but in terms of what you have to work with, the traits that you have to develop, he's as intriguing as any other quarterback. So he's super special. He showed it. A lot of people calling it his best game in terms of pressure, not just stats, but in terms of pressure and performing under that pressure.
In his career,
Yeah, so and I definitely could see that. They had a playoff win last year, but this one was definitely, the game was on Allen's shoulders.
Yeah.
And he took care of business time and time again. So
Definitely,
that's one you'd like to see. Who knows? It could be Mac Jones and Josh Allen could become a real rivalry.
Yeah.
That builds into something here. Mac's still getting into the groove of things. That's the difference. Mac is just Mac's a guy who almost feels like he's near his ceiling already, because he doesn't have. Usually, Mac's the flip side of the coin. You usually get a guy with traits like a Fields or a Lance, and you say, we'll develop the rest of the stuff later.
Yeah.
We'll develop the head later. With Mac, it's really the opposite. His arm isn't that great. He's not very mobile.
Yeah.
But his head seems to be much ahead of any other person his age. It seems like Allen, in terms of understanding defenses and the intangibles of the smarts of the position, it doesn't seem like Mac is that far behind somebody like Allen. Allen still makes a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties. But in terms of physical play, talent, elevating your team, Josh Allen's as special as they come.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
100%. All right. I think that wraps it up for those 2 weeks.
But let's move on.
Yeah, it's going to be quick with this one, too. All right, so moving ahead to this upcoming week in Gillette. It's going to be the last home game of the season for the Patriots, unless some other teams lose and we get a playoff game somehow. But
we haven't played too good at home.
No, exactly. We haven't.
3-5.
We have a losing record for sure. For a
sure
while, we were winless at home, but either way, the Jags coming, and I don't think it's any understatement in saying that this is the most parodied team in the entire league this year. I think it's even worse than the Lions.
Yeah, I mean,
the Lions still got their coach.
They've had their problems, man. I mean, they thought that something good was gonna come this year with Lawrence at quarterback, and Urban Myers at a head coach. Yep. You know, it seemed promising. Mm-hmm. Definitely not anymore.
No, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, Jags, I think, definitely are the worst team in the league. Mm-hmm. They got that win over Buffalo, and I think they got one over the Dolphins.
Yep. Yeah.
That's it, right?
Who knows? Maybe they get something for the East.
So, yeah, I mean, they're not a good team. No. Lawrence has played horrible. That whole offense is horrible. I mean, they got a couple receivers, but doesn't work when you don't have a quarterback getting you the ball. And I don't blame Lawrence because I still think he's got some talent, but they got to figure, put a line there, get something.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus Christ.
They're also decimated right now with injuries in terms of people that aren't there.
And their rookie running back, Etienne.
Yep. Tore his foot up before he even stepped on the field. So, it's a whole situation down there. There's some homers here in New England who I love me some Mac Jones, dude, but there's people who would still say if you could go back and you had a choice between those two that they would take Mac Jones, and that's just ludicrous.
Over who?
Over Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. I know he was nasty in college. I respect him.
What would you do?
But right now, I mean...
Well, right now is different because Mac's had time in the system.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I'd probably take Lawrence just because he was that guy in college, but I don't know, man.
I'm surprised you're that close on it because you weren't...
You
weren't a big Mac guy initially.
I'm not a big Lawrence guy, though, either.
Ooh, but Lawrence is 6'6". Wins
I don't know. He's got a good arm.
He's got 3 straight years. I mean,
he's just... I don't know. He's not my type of quarterback.
Fair enough. Did he beat up on Auburn or something?
No.
I'm trying to figure out... No, that's the thing. I
just never liked it. He was just a little prick.
That's true. There is a large amount, more than any other guy in recent memory, that he kind of gets, blind faith. Mm-hmm. Everybody's kind of just like, oh, he's the best. He's the best. So, I can see how that's a turn off.
I remember watching him in the... right before he went to Clemson. He had the All-American game.
Yep.
In McDonald's. it was it was for the football. I don't know what it was, but I remember he was a senior in high school, and I watched it. I think it was around Thanksgiving. He was nasty, bro. I was like, this dude's nasty, but he's a little fucking shit. I was like, I don't really like him. Ever since then, I was like, eh.
Well, that's the thing, too. He's a guy...
He acts humble, but he's not. You know he's not.
I remember when they lost their first game this year, that's the first regular season game that he lost ever.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because, when you ask the question, would you have Mac or would you have Trevor, it's if Trevor comes here, he went to Jacksonville, and he's now being treated how he's been treated his whole life. Mm-hmm. Jesus... the Savior, the Messiah. He's going to do everything. He's going to make it all work. If he came here, we'd be like, look, you're going to work in the system. Mm-hmm. You're going to do what we need you to do. You're a player just like any of these other players. And he's going to look at a bunch of other dudes who have 3 rings on their fingers. Yeah. And he's going to have to humble himself really quick. Mm-hmm. And then you add that to the fact that he's 6'6". He's got a gun. He can move around, too. Yeah. And I don't think he's dumb. The thing is, I wouldn't take Lance, and I wouldn't take Fields, because I think these guys really do lack a lot of what Mac has mentally. Yeah. Mac's still the best mentally out of all these guys, but I think Trevor's a pretty close second. I don't think he's dumb. Yeah. It's hard to work with pebbles down there.
I mean, I've always liked Fields. He's something about him I just like, but I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting thing. These are the 2... quarterbacks, it seems right now, no question, but could be the 2 most talked about out of this class.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done. Definitely is the case right now. Both doing Not both doing very well. Mac's doing decently well. Starting a trend now.
Lawrence hasn't been playing that well either. But
no,
there's still that holy grail over him. So
yes, exactly. So it's going to be an interesting game. I don't think either of us think it's going to be particularly close.
no, it shouldn't be.
No,
They
nobody
really
does. Every stat book, every single sports book says at least double digits. There's nothing that has this one being close, especially considering the Patriots are now in a situation.
They could.
If you lose, you could get knocked right out.
Exactly, and especially Miami. If
Yes.
you lose next week's big.
Oh, next week's going to be a huge game. It's one we were overlooking. We figured if you even split one of these Buffalo and Indy games, the Miami one would still be big. It'd probably be for first place, but it wouldn't be. There's a point now. This Miami one could be a make or break game.
Yeah.
For your team, so a lot of good football coming up down the stretch.
Hoping for a Bills loss too.
Oh, that'd be very nice. But they're playing some cheeks too. They're playing the Falcons.
Yep, and then
the Jets.
So I think Falcons could pull up even Jets. Honestly, I mean, dude, Jacksonville beat them. Come on,
maybe.
Now.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the thing. You never know. You assume that the Bills are locked in now. It's like, oh, they figured it out. They're in go mode. But hey,
Matty Ice could throw up some dimes.
They're all professionals, man. All professionals. So who knows? Hoping for a Bills loss. Hoping for Pats win. Hoping for a Michigan win today. We'll see. Not gonna happen. I gotta keep it alive.
Let's keep Bama out.
I got like
Cincy, let's go.
5 hours until it all comes crashing down. So go Patriots. I got 28-6.
I went 31-10.
Yep. All right.
So
neither of us think it's gonna be close whatsoever. Should be a fun one to just kick back, watch some good football. Get ready for a bigger game next week against the Dolphins, which we will be breaking down for you as well. So
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See you guys then. Have a good one. Go Pats.